2024 Chevy Colorado versus 2024 GMC Canyon, what's the difference? An in-depth look at the differences between these two very similar midsize pickup trucks. It's no secret the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC Canyon are closely related beneath their skins, and in the previous generation, even their skins were pretty similar, which made the Canyon a tough sell against the less expensive Colorado. For the new versions of these pickup trucks, General Motors tells us it made a concerted effort to differentiate these two midsize offerings. So what are those differences? Exterior styling. Styling is the primary differentiator between the Chevrolet and GMC versions, and the two divisions went out of their way to make their individual styling more pronounced. Though there's some commonality in the low-profile headlights, the better to make everything plug into the same understructure, we imagine the grille, front fascia, fenders, and hood are unique. The view from the back is different as well. The two trucks get unique tailgates and taillights. The 2024 Motor Trend Truck of the Year winning Colorado has a separate turn signal, while the GMC uses a single brake/turn combo lamp. Seems strange the more expensive truck gets the cheaper setup. The rear fenders differ slightly as well, presumably to accommodate the unique lights. Interior styling. The basic control layout is the same between the two trucks. Differences are in the details, such as the dashboard vents, which are round in the Chevrolet and square in the GMC. Dash and door trim differ as well, with GMC models offering nicer materials such as padded faux leather and wood on the Luxe truck Denali model. The Chevrolet models are more austere. In fact, the WT and Trailboss models are downright parsimonious, while the LT and ZR2's interior trim is quite a bit nicer. Outside of the dash, much of the interior plastic is shared between the two midsize pickup trucks, and these Chevrolet-grade materials clash with the nicer trim in the GMC Canyon. Powertrain. Both the 2024 Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon share a 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine driving an 8-speed automatic transmission. Chevrolet offered 3 versions of the engine for 2023. The 2.7-liter turbo produces 237 horsepower and 259 lb-ft of torque and comes standard in the WT and LT models. The 2.7 Turbo Plus makes 310 horsepower and 390 lb-ft, and is standard in the Z71 and Trailboss, and optional in the WT and LT. The 2.7 Turbo High Output delivers the same 310 horsepower but a boost to 430 lb-ft and is exclusive to the ZR2. For the 2024 Colorado, the Turbo Plus version is discontinued, replaced by the high output engine. Things are much simpler on the GMC side. The high output engine is standard on all models. Suspension and 4WD. The Chevrolet Colorado Trailboss comes with a 2-inch suspension lift and 3-inch wider track than other Colorado models. This taller and wider suspension is standard on all GMC Canyon models. The exception to this rule is the Colorado ZR2 and Canyon at 4X, the high-performance off-road versions of both trucks. The ZR2 and at 4X share much of the same hardware, including a 3-inch suspension lift and Multimatic DSSV spool valve shocks. Both trucks offer 10.7 inches of ground clearance. However, the Chevrolet has a better approach angle, 38.3 degrees versus 36.9 for the GMC, and departure angle, 25.1 versus 25.0, due to bodywork differences. Chevrolet offers both rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive for the WT and LT models, while the Trailboss, Z71, and ZR2 come only with 4WD. GMC only offers 2WD on the Elevation model, with 4WD standard on the at4, Denali, and at 4X trims. Towing and hauling. Most Colorado and Canyon variants can tow up to 7,700 pounds, provided they are equipped with an optional trailering package and limited slip differential. The Colorado requires the Turbo Plus, or, for 2024, high output engine as well, without the trailering package, and, on the Chevrolet, a more powerful engine. Towing is limited to 3,500 pounds. Both the Colorado ZR2 and Canyon at 4X max out at 6,000 pounds of towing capacity, though the limited run at 4X Edition 1 is limited to 5,500. The Colorado's payload is higher than the Canyon's, at 1,684 pounds for the WT and LT, and 1,587 for the Trailboss and Z71. The ZR2's max payload drops to 1,150. The Canyon tops out at $1,640, and that's only for the 2WD elevation model. The 4WD elevation can only haul 1,590 pounds. The at4 drops that capacity further to 1,550, and the Denali to 1,360. The at4X hauls slightly more than the ZR2 1,250, but the at4X Edition 1's payload is just 1,010 pounds. Remember that the weight of passengers and fuel will cut into payload capacity. Model lineup. The 2024 Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC-Canyon take different approaches in model availability. The Chevy begins with the bare-bones WT work truck trim with steel wheels and no bedliner. The LT model is the everyday driver version of the Colorado, while the Trail Boss model is the bare-bones off-roader. It gets the taller and wider suspension but shares its basic plastic interior with the WT. The Z71 is available only with four-wheel drive, though it doesn't get the wide track suspension. It offers nicer interior appointments than the LT, including optional leather-trimmed seats. Topping out the lineup is the Colorado ZR2, which has a unique suspension setup designed for aggressive off-road performance. Over on the GMC side, the base Canyon model is the Elevation, which comes with nicer trim than the most basic Colorados, though like the Colorado WT it lacks a sliding rear window or a keylock for the tailgate. The at4 is better equipped, while the top-of-the-line Denali is largely differentiated by its chrome grille and leather-trimmed seats. The top-of-the-line at4X largely parallels the Colorado ZR2 in its feature set, though GMC also offers an Edition 1 version of the Canyon at4X, which adds several off-road upgrades including a light bar and a winch. Available features. We expected the GMC Canyon to offer a better feature set than the Chevrolet Colorado, but we were surprised to learn it doesn't. Though the Canyon does come standard with the Colorado ZR2's engine and the Colorado Trail Boss wide stance suspension, most of the nice-to-haves offered on the GMC, such as a Bose stereo, larger digital instrument cluster, and leather-trimmed seats can also be had in the Chevy. Luxury features offered on the full-size GMC Sierra and other competing full-size trucks, things like rain-sensing wipers or a power-sliding rear window, cannot be had on the Canyon, not even on the top-of-the-line Denali model. Pricing. It comes as no surprise the Chevrolet's pricing is lower. The 2023 Colorado WT2WD starts at $30,695, with 4WD models starting at $33,995. The two-wheel drive LT starts at $33,095, the 4WD Trail Boss at $38,495, the 4WD Z71 at $31,395, and the ZR2 at $48,295. The 2023 GMC Canyon Elevation lists for $38,395 with two-wheel drive and $41,695 with four-wheel drive. The at4 is priced at $45,395, the Denali at $52,495, and the at4X at $56,995. Which one should you buy? The difference between the Chevrolet and GMC midsize pickups primarily comes down to trim and price. While the lower-end Colorado, WT and Trail Boss are rather stingy in their interior trim, the LT, Z71, and ZR2 versions are quite a bit nicer, and they don't necessarily feel lower rent than GMC's Elevation, at4, Denali, and at4X. They're just different. In terms of creature comforts and safety features, most of the options available on the Canyon can also be had on the Colorado. Primary mechanical differences are the GMC's wider/taller suspension and more powerful engine, but we're not sure how much benefit these will provide to most buyers, especially when the high-output engine replaces the Turbo Plus in 2024 Colorados. Outside of the at4X and ZR2 models, the GMC does have greater ground clearance than all Chevy versions save the Trail Boss, but in our off-road tests the Colorado LT was able to tackle the same obstacles as the Canyon Denali. In our acceleration tests, the Denali with the high-output 430 lb-ft engine was about 3/4 of a second slower than Chevrolet's with the 390 lb-ft Turbo Plus engine. In our price comparisons, we found that GMC Canyons generally ran $3,000 to $6,000 more than Chevrolet Colorados equipped with similar safety and convenience features. The primary difference between the Chevrolet and GMC trucks is their appearance, though we can't say we like one truck better than the other, both are quite handsome. Is it worth a few $1,000s for the GMC's, debatably, higher cachet? That's a decision buyers will have to make, but unless they are hung up on the GMC brand image, we imagine most will opt for the Chevy. That's certainly what we do.